We're like the top mushroom company in New Zealand.
For someone who's never tried mushrooms before, what would you say to them?
These ones aren't magic. I did get really burned out at the age of 24. A lot of our lives promote cortisol production, which means that we're
in a constant state of stress.
In this fight or flight state. I like to have lion's mane to help my brain. I like to have cordyceps pre-workout going to the gym. I like to have reishi to help me focus during the day or to send me asleep, quiet my mind down at nighttime. That one's the amazing one because it's like nature's Xanax.
I am a huge fan of this product and I've been using it for months now, and I can honestly say it's definitely made a difference in my life.
It sounds like I'm just going on and on about so many different things that they're good for, but they really are.
But that's why you're here.
Yeah, so they've got amazing prebiotic fiber in them as well. And prebiotics help feed the probiotics in the gut and help balance the gut microbiome. And as we know, like our gut is intrinsically connected to our brain and our immunity.
If you're looking for that one mushroom for the whole family, what would it be?
I think
Today we're delving into the world of natural wellness with Jessica Clarke, co-founder of Mother Made Mushrooms. Mother Made is transforming self-care by replacing synthetic products with the healing power of nature. Mushrooms. Mother Made is transforming self-care by replacing synthetic products with the healing power of mushrooms. Nature's unsung hero. From boosting immunity and mental clarity to tackling stress and even enhancing libido. These potent adaptogens are proving to be essential tools for modern wellness. In this episode, we'll uncover the fascinating science behind these natural wonders. Learn how a passion for wellness inspired a thriving business, and explore how simple daily rituals can transform your health. Let's get started. Welcome the gorgeous Jessica Clarke. So obviously, Jessica, I know who you are, but for those who don't, who is Jessica Clarke?
Jessica Clarke is co-founder of Mother Made, is a nature girl living in the city and a model.
A gorgeous model. Gorgeous girl. So first things first, why mushrooms?
Well, I guess my first instance of plant remedies was back all the way when I was a child living in New Zealand. So being from New Zealand, naturally, I am like nature is a big part of my identity.
Yeah.
And my mother is half Māori, so I'm half Māori, which is like indigenous of New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
And plant remedies and herbs were always like used in my upbringing for like health and wellness. If our gut was a little off balance, if we were feeling a bit under the weather, my mother would always like go to the garden and make like little teas and tinctures and stuff for us.
Wow, that's
so
incredible.
I guess that's kind of like where my affinity with plant remedies started. But then I moved to New York when I was 17 to pursue a career in modeling, and I basically forgot all about that beautiful stuff and left it at home in New Zealand. And then I kind of, as a model, I was always on a plane somewhere, and I think eventually we were always going to hit that chronic burnout.
Yeah.
And unfortunately I did. I did get really burned out at the age of 24.
Wow.
And I had already been working in the industry for like 5 years as a model, which is kind of a long career, I guess, at that point. And I turned to the health and wellness industry and was met with diet tricks, health fads, and like a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my nutritionist would give me protein bars and be like, this is what you take to like stay healthy and balanced. And you'd turn over the protein bar and like on the back of the packaging was like
9 million grams of sugar.
Yeah. And also 15,000 ingredients you can't even like pronounce. So just like fake health foods. So I think after way too many years of like going back and forth and struggling with this, I finally was like, enough is enough. I'm going to go back to my roots and what I know and my philosophy, which is really health, good nutrition, sleep, water, and supplement. If you're going to supplement from nature.
Yeah. I think anything that's nearest to its closest form is the best. You know, this is something that I am very conscious of now having my kids, you know, because left to them, they'd eat sweets all day.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to give them healthy, good food because I just think, you know, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a lot less complicated that way as well. Like I'm sure there are things with more than a couple of ingredients that are fine for you, but when you're struggling to find like what's going on and get that balance and regain that control, just go back to what's simple. And that's kind of like our like aim and our motto at Mother Made, is just to strip it all back and decomplicate this health and wellness industry that's got so convoluted.
Because it is a complicated industry, because there's so many contradicting facts.
Yeah. And
studies. Drink these green juices, and then the next person will be, and then the dentist will be like, no, don't drink smoothies, it rots your teeth. Or, vitamins don't work, they're an expensive wee. So why is Mother Made so special?
It would be amazing if all of us could afford to go to do all the expensive testings and see where our hormones are at and see what we're intolerant to and see where our imbalances are at. Functional mushrooms are an amazing kind of like starting point for anyone that wants to kind of like regain balance, control their stress hormones, and all the other amazing things that mushrooms have to offer and their benefits. They're really like multifaceted. So to start off and like introduce a supplement to anybody that's wanting to kind of like rebalance themselves in their lives, it's the greatest starting point.
Before we dive into the magic behind Mother Made, let's start at the beginning. What are mushrooms?
Yeah, so there's 2 to 3 million different types of species of fungi.
Okay.
There's around 120,000 different species of mushrooms.
Is there a difference between fungi and mushrooms?
Yeah, so mushrooms basically are the fruiting body of the fungi. So fungi consists of also the mycelium network, which goes underneath the ground, and that's an incredibly interesting part of fungi, is the mycelium network, because it is responsible for decomposing, recomposing, balancing the microbial balance of the forest network, which in turn produces all the nutrients and helps trees grow, and is the reason for all of the amazing nature around us.
I was watching that on David Attenborough the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the little baby mushrooms, and they all go into the soil and, flood the soil with nutrients, and then everything that grows is gorgeous.
I know, and they have this weird symbiotic relationship with trees as well, where they can communicate from tree to tree and kind of have this like nutrient exchange between them as well.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it is the other third kingdom. There's the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, then the fungi kingdom. And it's something that we're only just becoming obsessed with and just starting to talk about, which I think is incredible and crazy. But it's incredible because I think there's so much more for us to learn.
Natural remedies have been around for centuries.
Yeah, and millennia.
As you said, your mum did it with you when you were a little girl. And it seems like mushrooms are a bit of a fad at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think like especially in traditional Chinese medicine, it's been around for a very long time. In the Mayan cultures, it's been around for a very long time, traditional and herbal medicines. I think it's really beautiful that we're like bringing holistic health more into the Western and the modern westernized world, because it has such an amazing place. Obviously, Western medicine is incredible, but it has such an amazing place, especially with our lives now being so busy and so like we're all so bloody stressed out. It's insane. And the great thing about functional medicine is that it is really good at preventative.
Yeah.
So before we need to go to the doctors and before we've actually like literally broken our bodies down completely, we can do things in between A and Z to help ourselves kind of, not deteriorate as fast.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about mushrooms.
There's lots of different types of mushrooms as well, just to set my mushrooms apart from the other kinds.
Yeah.
So there are magical mushrooms, which send your body on a spiritual awakening.
Which were used in the 50s and 60s for like cancer patients. And, I watched this incredible documentary on Netflix about it, and I was like, wow, it helped addicts recover.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not my field. We work in functional medicine, but I did actually just recently go to a talk with Dr. Professor Nutt, who is this amazing scientist that's been working with psychedelics and like rewiring the neurological pathways in people's brains that are struggling with like PTSD and alcoholism and depression and things like that. And the results are really actually kind of incredible. But it is kind of difficult because it is still considered a Class A drug. Class A?
Yeah,
Class
it
C?
is.
Like pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Which is mad.
Which is mad, which is kind of mad. There's the mushrooms you can eat, obviously, portobello mushroom, shiitake, found in cooking. And then there is functional mushrooms. So those are the ones that have super high active compounds like antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, adaptogens. That's all the beautiful things that we're about to talk about with my mushrooms that just basically help restore balance and well-being. Oh, and there's also mushrooms that can kill you. So be very careful if you're wild foraging.
Is it true that the mushrooms that are the brightest colours and the most attractive are the most dangerous?
Yeah, no, there are some darker color ones. The problem with mushroom foraging is that a lot of the mushrooms look the same that aren't. So there'll be like a yellow buttercup mushroom and it looks exactly like, I think it's called like the angel of death or something like that. So you could be picking one or the other and then making a pie with it for your family. So I strongly suggest against wild foraging.
I have loads in my garden.
Yeah, maybe just leave them there.
I do. But I'm always scared of my dogs like eating them and either hallucinating in the garden or dying, you know.
Luckily, I think their noses are quite strong and they avoid them.
Good. What are the differences between medicinal and magic mushrooms?
Like the huge ones like psilocybin, which like changes the ways in your brain. I don't know too much about that, like how it works scientifically. And functional mushrooms, they're miles apart. They're just basically functional mushrooms. I like to say it's like a super, super, super food.
Yeah.
So just super high in amazing compounds.
How was Mother Made born?
Yeah, so Mother Made, obviously I had this affinity with plant remedies.
Okay.
And it really helped me regain control of my life when I had hit chronic burnout in modelling and just been under so much pressure.
What were the symptoms of burnout for you?
For me, tired and wired. It was stressed and tired and stressed and wired. And so I couldn't sleep. I couldn't focus. I had brain fog. Like I was always sick, like always sick.
Yeah.
And just, I know it sounds really like sad and gloomy because I'm not a sad and gloomy person, but I was sad. And I'm such a happy person. So it was just kind of really contradicting. So that chronic burnout is like you're fighting your body.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I felt so far removed from who I was inside. That was kind of like where I then found mushrooms. Like modeling is weirdly like kind of a community where we're all like speaking to each other. It's like being like an intense athlete almost.
Yeah.
Especially at that high level. That's how I like to think of it anyway, is that you are training your body to look a certain way and you're training it really hard and you're training it indefinitely.
Yeah.
And so you need to come up with all the tips and tricks in the world to maintain that look. And the only problem was all the things that I had learned to do that is it maintains the way I look, but it doesn't maintain the way I feel.
Yeah.
And so even though I looked fine on the outside and I was doing amazing things and everyone was patting me on the back, inside slowly I was crumbling.
Yeah.
And so that's why when we started, I'm saying like this weird model community that exists out there, but it does. It's a gang. When we kind of all like was sharing knowledge about functional mushrooms and stuff, and it was in LA, and we're like, let's have reishi to go to sleep and Zen as Xanax, maybe. Let's just try it. And it was the most insane thing in the entire world that I got a full night's sleep. I didn't feel like a train had hit me in the morning.
Yeah.
I could my circadian rhythm was all out of whack because I was still flying to like 5 different countries in 4 days.
Yeah.
But it sparked something. It was different. I started feeling good as well as looking kind of okay. And by the way, the looking good doesn't last if you're not feeling good.
And that's like a lot of pressure in the modelling industry.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look your best to get the jobs. And
yeah, it is a lot of pressure. And it's also self-inflicted, which is awful because you don't ever really know why you get the job, why you don't get the job.
Yeah.
And so I came from an athletic background. I played like netball. Do you know netball?
Do I know netball?
Netball, yeah.
My daughter's like a champion netballer.
Great. Yeah. I love that. I played for New Zealand in high schools. So I played for like national level when I was 17. And I got into the under-21 squad when I was 17, and I was on a plane to to do the Calvin Klein exclusive, and I remember bawling my eyes out, being like,
I'm missing the match.
I don't even know who Calvin Klein is. I'm missing the match. I want to be a silver fern. And I mean, unfortunately, there isn't the money in like women's sports, so I don't regret it. But I really appreciate that side of my life, and I have deep gratitude for the different things that it's taught me, and it was how I tackled the difficult things in modeling. I was like, look, you're an athlete. This is your Olympics. Like when I did the Victoria's Secret runway show, it was my Olympics. So
what did you do to train for that? Because I did the campaign for that as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hottie. Oh wait, I saw you in the Agent Provocateur thing lately,
thanks.
by the way.
Yeah, that was my
so
last one.
So hot.
But yeah, I did the VS campaign like worldwide last year, 2 years ago.
Amazing.
And I thought,
what did you do?
I was just trying to smash it in the gym.
Yeah.
Not drink too much wine.
Yeah, that's good.
Because, I like my glass of wine of a night.
Yeah.
Eat healthy. Like I've got a huge appetite, but I was just trying to eat the right things.
Yeah.
As close to nature as possible.
Yeah.
Cut out the crap, the sugar.
Yeah.
But I felt great as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy how when you get into that bad habit of eating the wrong things, how much it affects your energy, your skin, your mood.
Definitely. And then you also crave those things as well.
Oh yeah, and you want to eat more.
We're talking about magic mushrooms being illegal. Like sugar is literally isn't it like 10 times more addictive than cocaine or something ridiculous like that?
Horrendous sugar, horrendous.
Yeah. And not to say, by the way, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. Like I definitely love my carrot cake, and I love home baked cookies without all of that crap in it. Home baking is like one of my favorite things, but I try and do like coconut sugar every now and then. Anyway, we're getting off track again. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So you founded the brand with Emily, your co-founder. How did you bring your vision to life?
Yeah, so it was in COVID, and we both came back to New Zealand. She was in New York at the time, and I was in LA. And she also was in love with mushrooms.
Yeah.
She had her own journey with mushrooms. She's actually a bit of a whiz. She dropped out of high school and started her own business when she was like 18 years old. It was like the first health and wellness cafe in smoothie bar, kind of salad bar, like health food product grocer situation in the small town that basically only had KFC and McDonald's.
Wow.
So she was really like a pioneer of like health foods. And through her own journey, she discovered kind of finding all these health products and realizing that they're not health products, or like turning over the packet and seeing an entire list of ingredients and like sunflower like seed oils and additives and preservatives. So we came together in COVID, and we just had this burning desire to disrupt the health and wellness world. And we knew functional mushrooms really well, and we both had a passion for that. And so we ordered a ton of mushrooms, because we looked at all of these other mushroom brands and they weren't quite right.
Yeah.
Like we wanted like super high potency.
Like the potency,
we wanted like only from the fruiting body, not from mycelium grain.
And why is that? What difference does that make?
So basically it's like an apple tree. So the fruiting body is the apple.
Yeah.
And the tree is the mycelium grain. And some people grind up the entire tree, including the apples, and some people grind up just the apples, which is what we do.
Oh, okay.
And you can still sell it. You can still sell it as like a mushroom supplement, even though like the potency would be way less, because it's mainly just like sawdust and corn. Yeah. So we wanted all of these different factors, and we had already been obsessed with mushrooms. And so we basically just decided to order a whole bunch, and our parents and boyfriends and girlfriends would get mushrooms for the rest of their lives for Christmas and birthdays, because we were never going to sell this to the public, and we ended up selling out within 3 weeks.
That is incredible. So how do you go about finding the source? Where do you go?
Yeah, so we looked at loads of different places. We looked in Europe, America, and then obviously in China.
Yeah.
So traditional Chinese medicine, mushrooms have been used for a millennia, like over 1,000 years, and they have amazing practices. It's also part of the Taoist tonic herbalism religion. Okay. So they treat the mushrooms like with the highest respect because it is part of this religion. So ours are grown outside on natural substrates on little discs of wood. and they're certified organic, so no pesticides are used. But we do go one step further because they are sourced from overseas, and we get them third-party tested here in England, and then also third-party tested in New Zealand, where we first started, just to make sure, you know, the potency's there and there's no pesticides, heavy metals, all of those things that I think would be conflicting for our brand. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
God.
We wanted the best stuff. We are the mushroom takers. We bought them for us. Do you know what I mean? Like the business thing happened later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you just use your own money for this?
Yeah, we did. It was nuts. I think it was like 30,000 New Zealand dollars. So 15,000
on mushrooms.
Yeah, so 15,000 pounds on mushrooms. Oh my God. I could have bought a handbag wrong of me.
5 handbags?
Five, damn it. Yeah, so we did that. I think we both asked our parents for like a couple of grand on top of that.
Yeah.
And we bought product. We designed all the packaging ourselves. We sat on the floor of Resine paint shop with a Pantone swatch and just picked out our favorite colors. It was kind of inspired from a Tarantino film, all of like the earthy colors.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's good colors.
Good colors, you like it? I've been in the fashion industry for 15 years, so I think my friends would give me an absolute walloping if it didn't look good.
If it didn't look aesthetically pleasing also. I think the thing I love about your branding and your packaging is that it's so clean, it's easy to read, it's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's stylish. It'd look good on your kitchen worktop as well. You know, I normally hide everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a real conscious decision of ours, especially it being clear what it was, because if you were into mushrooms back in the day, and obviously we were, and this was 8 years ago when like mushrooms were very much like a voodoo kind of like holistic witchy kind of thing to be into. They would always name them like lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey's tail.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you know what those mushrooms are, you have no idea why you should use them, if you should use them, which the first one to start with. And so we just clearly put on our packaging, why don't we just call lion's mane focus? Because that's what it makes you do. And our PM blend, which is a mixture of reishi, turkey's tail, and shiitake, why don't we just call it best beauty sleep ever, or your PM blend, so you know exactly when to take it.
Yeah.
So is it when to take it or what it's for? And then we give you a whole lot of education on our website or through our social media platforms and stuff. But I think it's so key, especially with holistic health, just to like be straight to the point.
And it's educating the public because, as you say, not a lot of people know about them, but definitely want to improve themselves, improve their lives in a natural way.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of people that can benefit from it because it's not just me that was stressed and tired or stressed and wired.
Yeah,
I think
everyone is.
I think it's if you're a mother of 4, if you're a business owner, if you're both, you know, or a man of the father. Like everyone's kind of always engaged and always turned on and a little bit overwhelmed. And the thing about adaptogens and especially functional mushrooms, it helps gain control of your ATP access and
what is that?
It's basically like your hormones and your cortisol levels. And so a lot of our lives promote cortisol production, which means that we're
in a constant state of stress.
Yeah. In this fight or flight state, which if you're
not good,
if you're always like that, leads to like chronic stress, which can manifest into something much more sinister.
Well, it can be the leading cause of cancer as well, but it's not a nice existence to live like that, is it?
Yeah.
So let's dive into the science behind the mushrooms and what the benefits are for the human body and what is in your products. Because, you know, mushrooms are nature's natural healer and they can tackle anxiety, brain fog, immunity, libido.
Should we do the AM blend?
Okay.
The AM blend is my favorite. I love it so much. I add it to my coffee every single morning.
Oh, see, I don't put it in my coffee.
Oh, stop.
I have it on its own.
Oh, great. That's even better.
I just have it on its own.
I'm cheating. I love coffee. I can't help myself.
Well, I love coffee, but I thought this was just like the alternative.
No, I mean, yes, it is an alternative.
Yeah, I didn't know you're supposed to put it in your coffee.
Well, you can have it by itself, and it tastes nice, right?
Yeah.
It tastes so nice. It's delicious. The way we formulated it is so you can have it by itself with a little bit of plant milk, like a tonic. Some hot water, but I just add it to my coffee, and what it does is slows the release of energy. So if you're wearing one of those Aura rings, you can see that like instead of the spikes from caffeine, it's like a slow release of energy.
Yeah,
and that has so many different effects on my life personally, because when I get the 3 p.m. crashes, that's when I reach for a Snickers bar. And if I have another coffee because I need one because I've crashed, then that means I don't sleep well at night. So all of these things, it's kind of taking me off that like perpetual roller coaster that my body used to be on, and giving me a little bit more just like steady energy, steady like balance. So going into the science.
Yeah.
So the AM blend has lion's mane, which is really great for cognitive function and brain health, and cordyceps, which is known as the athlete's mushroom. So really good to improve your VO2 max and your ATP production.
Which is what?
Which
What's
is
that?
cellular energy.
Okay.
So it's basically just really good for endurance and stamina.
Okay.
And oxidation of the blood.
Wow.
So kind of like a pre-workout, I would say, like nature's pre-workout.
Yeah.
And then we have chaga, which is amazing immunomodulator. It's got these things called polysaccharides in them, which is like a beta D glucan. And immunomodulators is kind of like taking your immunity to the gym.
Yeah.
So it's helping to build resilience. So when you do get sick, you have a stronger, better immune system to be able to fight off.
And how much of this do we need to be taking to feel these benefits? Or is it like, you know, you need to be taking it for a few months and then you feel it was instant? What do you think?
Yeah. So 2,000 milligrams is what's kind of known and said to be like the amount that you should take per day. So that's around like 1 to 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
But all of our range personally, and all of the mushrooms, all the 7 mushrooms that I love the most, I think it's nice to take them all like kind of like throughout the day. You don't have to, and that's why we put in an AM and a PM blend to like make it super easy for people. But I like to have lion's mane to help my brain. I like to have cordyceps pre-workout going to the gym. I like to have reishi to help me focus during the day or to send me asleep, quiet my mind down at nighttime. It's kind of like that one's the amazing one because it's like nature's Xanax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like focus and relax.
The relax is so good. Yeah, my partner he travels a lot, and he used to be on, I'm not going to name it, but like different medications to go to sleep. And I've totally switched him to natural.
Yeah.
And he loves reishi and swears by it.
Because the thing with natural, you wake up the next day feeling great.
Yeah.
You're not, you know, zonked.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing about mushrooms as well. They're like multifaceted in terms of their benefits. Whereas like if you go to some pharmaceuticals, they will be great for one job, and then they'll have multiple like side effects that could be negative towards you. Whereas, you know, you take lion's mane for focus, but then it's super high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, which is good for anti-aging and skin health. And
do they improve your skin?
Any antioxidants are good for improving skin because they help reduce free radicals and oxidative stress. Yeah. But then also in some mushrooms, you can find kojic acid, which has also been shown to help skin elasticity.
That's what I need. I literally need that.
I need that.
I'm just going to pour it on my belly.
It.
There's a lot of attention on gut health today. You know, everywhere we turn, it seems to be protect the microbiome of your gut. Yeah. How can mushrooms contribute to that?
Yeah, so it sounds like I'm just going on and on about so many different things that they're good for, but they really are.
But that's why you're here. We need to educate our listeners into the benefits and the powers, the natural healing powers of mushrooms.
Yeah, so they've got amazing prebiotic fiber in them as well. And prebiotics help feed the probiotics in the gut and help balance the gut microbiome. And as we know, like our gut is intrinsically connected to our brain and our immunity. And so, so another tick off the list for mushrooms.
And another thing I wanted to ask you about was libido. There's a lot. You're younger than me, so you probably don't struggle with this. I'm 4 kids, but we've had a lot because
you don't struggle with it. You've got 4 kids.
Well, I've only had sex 4 times. No, so we've had a lot of our listeners write into with some questions, and one of the main things is: does it really help our libido?
I mean, there are some scientific research out there and some links to testosterone balances within men, and I mean, I guess cordyceps helps with stamina and ATP production, so maybe because your stamina is higher, and then also it's an adaptogen, so with reduced stress maybe you're like more inclined to get freaky in the sheets.
Yeah, exactly.
However, there isn't enough conclusive evidence to to definitely say that it's going to help you in the bedroom, but it has been used for thousands of years as an aphrodisiac within traditional Chinese medicine.
Amazing.
So I say give it a go. Why
Give
not?
it a go.
Yeah.
Why not? What about mood and mental health? How can mushrooms help us with anxiety and stress levels?
Yeah, so adaptogens are really amazing natural way to help reduce stress and control that HPA axis I was talking about,
Yeah.
reduce cortisol levels. But I do urge, like, as much as we try and spread as much education around functional medicine, if someone is struggling with depression or anxiety, I definitely urge them to go and seek professional advice.
Yeah.
Or if they're really interested in like functional medicine, there's a lot of amazing functional medicine practitioners out there
Yeah.
that specialize in herbal remedies. And they're fascinating. So yeah, definitely go out and seek that.
How have you been received by your customers? Have you had any positive feedback and success stories after they've been using the products?
Yeah, we have such an amazing community. I think like the reason we launched in New Zealand 3 years ago and the reason why we grow so fast is just through word of mouth.
Yeah.
Which is insane how like fast that travels actually. And there's been people from like little old ladies with arthritis that used to take like millions of prescriptions that now like just take the necessary prescriptions and have had mushrooms really, really help them. We've had
That's one of the main things I noticed, like anti-inflammatory.
the anti-inflammatory
Yeah, and my
effects.
achy knees and
You don't look like you have achy knee.
I do. I literally do.
Oh no.
I'm stiff.
Oh, good on you. You're the opposite of stiff. You're hilarious.
Honestly, I used to be able to do the splits. Now I can't.
Go on then. And then there's been people with kids that struggle to concentrate at school. There's been pets that have anxiety.
Can you give it to your pets?
Yeah, you can. So like Raishi, oh my God, I'm copying your accent. Sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I was copying yours.
Because
Come on, where's my iPad?
I like it.
Can you give it to pets?
Yes. I mean, it was also a couple of people that ordered the products. We had like a few people saying that their Labradors had got into their package and eaten the bottom of the package out and eaten all the pills. So they've actually like sniffed it out. Yeah. And then we were like, this is kind of strange. And then other people were saying that they've been purposely giving them to their pets. So yeah, we might have a pet line coming out soon.
Oh my God, you should definitely. I think people spend more money on the pets than they do themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
I think John's dog eats better than him. It's got like organic this, organic that, like all these supplements and oils.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're having 16 beers at the pub and
exactly
eating
right.
fish and chips.
Exactly. Can you answer some of these scenarios for me?
Yeah.
Okay, because different mushrooms have different health benefits, I'm going to give you these scenarios and see how Mother Made can help. Okay, so I'm a 40-year-old mother of 3, low energy, waking up in the mornings, and a really low sex drive. How can Mother Made help?
So in the mornings, if you've got low energy waking up in the mornings, maybe you had a restless night's sleep. So I highly recommend the reishi.
Yeah.
Sounding like when you've got lots of kids, that means you've probably got a long to-do list. And the thing about reishi is it doesn't actually really like make you go to sleep, but it just quiets your mind down. Yeah. So if you've got that long list of things that just kind of like keep you from getting into REM sleep, reishi really helps just quiet your mind and actually get into REM sleep and have a really, really nice, great long night's rest and feel better and rejuvenated in the morning. So that would help in that way.
Yeah.
And then libido, was that
libido?
And libido, I mean cordyceps, why not give it a go?
Give it a go. I'm a student, I'm working hard, I'm feeling stressed and struggling with my anxiety and clarity. How can Mother Made help?
Lion's mane is your guy. So lion's mane is amazing for cognitive function and brain health. It also is an adaptogen, so really good for controlling your cortisol levels and those feelings of stress and overwhelming work that as a student you probably have. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, last one. I'm on the go a lot. I find it hard prepping nutritious meals and feel generally run down because of my skin to flare up and spots. How can Mother Made help?
So it's either the AM or PM blend. The AM blend has lion's mane, cordyceps, and chaga, and the PM blend has reishi, shiitake, and turkey's tail in it. all of those are great because they're in powder form. So
Okay.
in terms of making a nutritious meal, you can just chuck it into what you're having. So you
Yeah.
can have it as a coffee, the AM blend, but you can also put it into your oats.
Yeah.
You can also sprinkle it over your eggs. You
Yeah.
can eggs.
Eggs?
I knew. I shouldn't have said that word. I sound so Kiwi. And the PM blend, I mean, I put it in bolognese. I put it in like as like it's. got
I
an
do all that for my
umami.
kids when they don't want to eat
Yeah.
veggies and good stuff. I just hide it.
Yeah, just blend it up.
Yeah,
and throw it
exactly
in there.
that.
Yeah, so that's really great for getting in antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, adaptogens, help the body cope with stresses. Good for your skin, prebiotic fiber. I mean, it really is like your ultimate superfood.
Yeah.
So you can just throw it into any of those meals to make them a little bit more nutritious.
Can you talk us through your own mushroom ritual?
I'm not going to say I'm perfect. My rituals will start in the morning and fall apart by the afternoon. So,
Start with good intention. I think
yes,
that's normal. That's
yeah.
me all over as well.
Exactly. So because of that, I make sure my morning ritual is
Nailed.
just absolutely nailed. And so that starts with some exercise in the morning, even if it's just a little like walk with my dog. And then I make a mother-made latte, of course. So I have my coffee. I used to have 5 coffees a day. I now have 1 coffee and I have mushrooms in it. And if I do have another coffee or an oat milk latte or something like that, it's only with mushrooms. It doesn't have coffee in it. And if I'm preparing to do anything like this, for instance, I just won't have coffee.
Yeah.
I'll have a decaf and I'll have mushrooms in it. Again, I just think I'm like a high-wired person with like naturally a lot of cortisol, and mushrooms are a great way to balance that.
Are you a stressy person?
No, I don't think I'm stressy. I think I've got the island vibe.
Island vibes.
I think I've got the careless island vibe still, but I think I overthink things, and I think I'm quite high energy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, which is great for
Get this
building a
down, yeah.
business.
Let's talk more about starting the brand. Were you met with any challenges?
I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but like the number one challenge we had was logistically keeping enough stock. So we would always sell out, and lots of brands do it on purpose, and we didn't do it on purpose. And unfortunately, with like lead times and stuff, it meant that like our customers were waiting for up to like 4 to 5, 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
And we don't have some offshore like customer service place. It was literally, this is at the beginning of our business. It was Emily and I
In your living
answering all
room?
these, answering all these really mad people. And it was like, while we're trying to build the business and then also like get all this negative feedback loop, it was really difficult. But at the same time, it was the reason why we got our act together and got it sorted.
Yeah.
So, if your customers out there with feedback, thank you for the feedback. We got it sorted.
What would you say to anybody who was thinking of starting their own brand and a new startup?
Oh, just don't think about it too much. If you're passionate and you love it and truly come up with like a good brand, like don't try and cut any corners.
Yeah.
Because it'll all come out in the works later. Like really, like the one thing about Mother Made is that it's really a good product.
Yeah.
Like it truly works. We could have chosen to have additives and fillers in it because it goes through the machines faster and better. That's what the supplier said to us. We're like, absolutely not. We're stuck by our guns and we really truly believe in our product.
But I think that comes across. It's a really authentic brand. You can tell the founders are passionate, they're into it, and I think that's what radiates and makes you want to buy it.
Definitely. We did all the work. We did all the hard work for the customer, so they don't have to like go through like 8 years of learning about mushrooms like we did, or collectively 16 years. So I think that having a really good product is so essential, because selling your product and the business side of it is hard.
Yeah.
So if you start with like rocky foundations, you're kind of screwed. And there's a lot of ups and downs throughout business, but having like a really core foundation, a strong foundational product is so essential in starting a business. But also just do it. Once you've got that, just do it. Because don't think about it too much. I think if I thought about it too much, I probably wouldn't have done it. If I knew what obstacles were in front of me, I would definitely not have taken on the challenge.
What strategy have you got in place to scale your business?
Yeah, so lucky enough, we've been able to scale and grow and have, we've got an amazing team. We've got like an in-house nutritionist. We have a logistics manager, an accounts manager, a customer service girl who's actually my business partner's little sister.
Amazing.
It's like all these women in our lives that we've kind of like grown up with, and they've all gone into their own respective careers and done really well. And actually a few of them have done really well, but then had babies.
Yeah.
So not being able to work.
Yeah.
In an office situation. And so we've given, well, I'm not saying that I'm like the Dalai Lama, I've given them the opportunity to work.
But it's,
But like through our chatting, we've got them on board, and they're like, oh, we love working with Mother Maid because you guys are pretty relaxed and we can work from wherever. And they're all way smarter than me as well, which is great. And I think
everyone's way smarter than me on my team. Like I can't even get this space bar or off the bloody screen. I am so bad.
But that's what Steve Jobs said, didn't he? He said something about hiring smarter people than you, and then don't tell them what to do. You should hire people that are smarter than you so they can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And so we've been really lucky to have an incredible little team who's based in New Zealand and the UK. And through them and our strategy that Emily and I have put together, we hope to grow and achieve global domination.
Yeah, of course. Are you going to New Zealand often? Do you have to go there, or could you run it from the UK?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been in New Zealand for 3 years, and we've got like 300 wholesalers there, and we're pretty much like
that's amazing.
I would say we're in the top. We're like the top mushroom company probably in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And so it is like that community in New Zealand, and that fostered Mother Maid's growth is so really important to me. So important to me. So I love to go back and spend time and do events and pop-ups, and also our team is there, and so I go back and do different shoots for the products and stuff. So I go back, but New Zealand is like 29 hours away, so
I know
it's not as often as I'd like.
I know. I really want to go with the kids, but 29 hours does not sound appealing at this moment.
No.
What's the most important lesson you've learned building Mother Maid so far?
To delegate. I think personally, I always think I can do it all. Like, oh no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I got it. And you don't. And then you start forgetting things. And I think like I said before, I think there's so many there's people out there that are so talented, and what they can do in 5 minutes you could probably only achieve in like a week. And so I've learned to delegate, and everything has run so much smoother. So, biggest lesson for me, for sure.
That's what we've learned as well in what we do. For someone who's never tried mushrooms before and might be a bit skeptical, what would you say to them, and where should they start?
These ones aren't magic.
Even though
they have magical benefits. I think everyone needs like a little bit of nature.
Yeah.
And I think everyone needs a little bit of nurture from nature. And I think everyone is a little bit stressed and tired and wired. And I really, truly believe that because of thousands of reviews from our customers, this really helps achieve that balance. And
also practice that's been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
People have been using these.
Exactly. It didn't just pop up. It's not a fad. This is something that's real and tangible. And we're just excited to share it with the rest of the world now that we've launched in the UK. So, yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted you on my pod today, because I am a huge fan of this product, and I've been using it for months now. And I can honestly say it's definitely made a difference in my life. And I've got my husband on it, the kids, especially Sophia, with all their sport and everything, and just to wind down at night and feel great in the day. So it's, for me, this pod is about inspiring women inspiring people with a great story, and that's what you've got. So thank you.
Thanks so much.
What are the future aspirations for Mother Maid, and what is your mission for the brand going forward?
So our mission is to educate everyone about functional mushrooms and how they can be benefited by them. And just to uplift the human collective, really, and spark some joy and happiness and some curiosity as well, to look into holistic health and bring it mainstream.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that's where we're going. We're all going. Everyone, I feel, is like kind of fed up with fake and want to,
go back to nature.
Back to nature.
Yeah. And we can't always go back to nature. And we can't always meditate for 4 hours or do yoga twice a day. But what we can do is just make those little steps
Of course.
in our everyday life, including functional mushrooms, and holistic health to really help.
Yeah.
In our modern busy lives.
Exactly. For anyone listening who wants to try Mother Made, where can we buy your products?
Yeah, so we can buy online at mothermade.co.uk.
Yeah.
We are also in a few little cafes and gyms spotted around the UK, but we are growing so fast. So soon, hopefully, you can get them in your local stores. But for now, online.
Amazing. Bye now, folks. You heard it here. Mothermade.co.uk.
Oh.
Okay. Quick fire.
Yes.
Jessica, what is your favourite mushroom and why?
Reishi, and because I struggle with sleep a lot, and it saved me. Yeah, it was my gateway mushroom.
Okay. God, I need the opposite. I need
You
something
need
to stay
energy.
awake. I can sleep.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a secret superpower.
My mum can't sleep at the moment, and it's driving her insane. It is important.
There you go, reishi.
Yeah.
Yeah, natural sleep.
Okay, what is the weirdest fact about mushrooms you've come across?
That fungi makes up 30% of the world's biomass. So like the mycelium network, I guess, is included in that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the world that exists subterranean.
That is nuts, isn't it, when you think about it?
It's a whole world under there.
What has been the hardest part of running your business, Mother Made?
The hardest part is being away from my team.
Yeah.
But I think we're so lucky in this day and age that we have like Zoom and Google Meet and all of those kind of things. But I am having to do meetings at like 5 a.m. and then.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a 12-hour time difference.
Oh God.
Yeah, brutal, but it's okay.
Brutal.
I got it.
If you could describe Mother Made in 3 words, what would they be?
Clean, transparent, and authentic.
Yeah. What's one health benefit people overlook when it comes to mushrooms?
The health benefit that people overlook is the stress bit. I'm sorry to harp on about it, but I think a lot of people think that they're operating at 100% where they're actually operating at 60%, and it's because stress has had such a bad impact on like their sleep routines and energy levels and stuff like that. So if you can get that under control and your cortisol levels under control with functional adaptogens, then I think people will see a huge improvement. I definitely did personally myself.
Yeah, me too.
I was operating on 60% for a long time.
Yeah, I think I was operating on less.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I know. It's insane.
It is mad. And the weirdest thing is you become used to it and you think this is how humans feel. Right? And you shouldn't feel like that.
No way. I mean, that's it. I think that's exactly what everyone says about when they take Mother Made as well. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I get so much more done. Oh my God, I'm so much more focused. Oh my God, my sleep is so much better.
Yeah.
Like everyone needs the chance to see what it's like to feel balanced.
100%. What's one mushroom that every household should have? If you're looking for that one mushroom for the whole family, what would it be?
I think lion's mane. I think there's so many scientific papers on lion's mane and about like neurological health and cognitive function and focus, especially with like people's attention spans being so small due to social media and things like that. I think lion's mane. Lion's mane's like the big one.
I like the name of that as well.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you weren't running Mother Made, what would you be doing?
I have no idea. Still modeling, I guess. I mean, I am.
So you're not modeling anymore?
Yeah.
Who inspires you the most?
My mother was like a big inspiration to me. She sadly passed away, but she was like a badass. You know what I mean? She kind of like ran the household, but then she was also like a businesswoman, and she was just so cool. So she was a huge inspiration to me. But I get a lot of inspiration from lots of different female founders and people in the fashion industry, like Stella McCartney. She's always been at the forefront of using interesting fabrics and sustainability. She even made a bag made out of mushroom leather, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then I get inspiration from people like Beatrix Potter. Beatrix Potter was actually a mycologist. And there's not a lot about that. She did a lot of drawings and illustrations on mushrooms.
No way.
And it was back in the day where women weren't really allowed to be like scientists. So a lot of women went into mycology. And a lot of the original like mycology papers are all written by women. So I think that's cool.
That's incredible. Gosh.
Yeah.
Did you find that out by accident or?
I love Kew Gardens, and Kew Gardens has like a huge like department on mycology and mushrooms, and so I read a lot about the